Gravity FM.
Here on Gravity FM 97.2, this is The Mayor on Sunday with myself, Ian Selby. My guest here in the studio is Mr. Mark Beecham. Mark, a very good evening to you.
Good evening, Ian, and good evening to the listeners of Gravity Outlet FM.
Absolutely. Now, Mark, I'm delighted you're coming this evening. We're talking Airfix models this evening.
That's correct, yeah.
And you are, by profession, you're actually a rural postman, is that right?
Yes, rural postman here at Grantham. I've been doing it for 26 years now.
Oh, long time then.
Long time.
Long time then.
Long time, yeah.
You'll know your way around the countryside, around the sticks and all that.
I've covered most of the areas, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I bet you have. Oh, yeah. Now, Mark, you're a member of the Belvoir Model Club.
Yes, that's correct, yeah. The Belvoir Model Club. A little about it. We meet at the Railway Club on Hunting Tower Road on the first Tuesday of every month, 8 o'clock until 10:30. There's 7 of us in the Belvoir Model Club, and we just have a general get-together, bring along models that we're working on, and talk about shows that we're going to attend, and just generally have a bit of a chit-chat and a catch-up on things that are going on in the model-making world.
How long have you been formed then, Mark?
Right, now then, a lot of people may not know, but there's been a model club in Grantham since the 1970s. And back then, my late father, Gordon, he was a member of the Grantham Model Club back then. And he used to take me along when I was 6-7 years old. And it was pretty much the same thing. You know, people would turn up with the latest model, talk about it, decide where they were going to display models, have exhibitions, and just generally swap hints and tips, you know, on trying to get a better model built.
So I wonder how it all came about in the first place. I assume it was a group of enthusiasts got together and thought, oh, let's form a club.
That's absolutely correct, yeah. It was just put together by a group of like-minded people, you know, that shared the same passion in military history and model making. Yeah. Over the years, the model club has moved on. I actually rejoined in 1990. Back then, the model club used to meet at the Shirley Croft Hotel, which is now just a pile of rubble on Harrowby Road.
Which is sad.
Yeah, we had about 7-8 members back then, but over the years, some people leave, other members come in. And at present, we've got 7 members. Half of them are actually from and live in the Vale of Belvoir. Hence, we had a name change. So we're now the Belvoir Model Club, but still Grantham from the old days.
I think people associate Belvoir with Grantham anyway, don't they? You know?
But they do. We're closely linked. Yeah,
absolutely. Now, I bet you learn quite a lot about military history actually while you're making these models as well, and all the. I mean, there's all different wide range of models, isn't there? There's tanks, there's airplanes. Would you like to just tell me some of the models that there are available?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, one common core interest we've all got is that we have the same upbringing. We all had fathers that had probably served in the military or had some connection with the military in the past. So consequently, at the weekend, when we only had 3 channels on the TV, we were all watching war films with the dads on Sunday afternoons. And you'd find then that the following week, when you went shopping with your mum, she'd buy you a little Airfix model from Woolworths. And you'd build it in a whole weekend. I mean, nowadays we'll spend 2 or 3 months, you know, refining the latest project. But that's how it happened. And the military history aspect goes hand in hand with it. I mean, we all read lots and lots of books on various military subjects. And you'll find that when you're reading a book, you know, you get so enthusiastic about it, you just want to go out there and buy and build a model that's associated with what you're reading about. Yeah. Hence, going to model shows and military events. You'll see something, talk to somebody, just want to recreate it in plastic form.
Yeah, well, you see an aeroplane at a show and you think, oh, I've made a model of that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, all the time.
Absolutely. Now, I bet it's a very, very fiddly hobby, isn't it?
A lot of people do think it's fiddly, but it's just about patience and enthusiasm. And once you're kitted up with the right tools, you know, there's no set time pattern that you have to build your model by. You can take as little time as you like, and preferably the longer the better, because at the end of the day you're going to put more time in it and make a better job of it.
Okay, now Mark, we'll have another music track, then we'll come back and we'll talk about a special event that we've got lined up for this coming Saturday for Armed Forces Day.
Visit our website, gravityfm.net. Local radio for local people.
On Gravity FM.
My guest here in the studio is Mr. Mark Beecham from the Belvoir Model Club. Yes, we're talking Airfix models at the moment. Mark, now we've got quite an event coming up this Saturday.
We have. It's an event we're really looking forward to and we're quite excited about, because it's a privilege to be able to support the Armed Forces Day by holding an exhibition in the Mayor's Parlour at Grantham Guildhall this Saturday, the 28th of June, between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Anyone coming along will see a fine display of models built by the Belvoir Model Club, and we intend to exhibit round about 200, and what you'll see is a fine collection of Allied aircraft, Allied tanks, Allied military vehicles, and the odd ship as well. So we'd urge you all, if you're passing, if you're in Grantham, or even if you want to make a special journey, come along and have a look. We'll gladly accept donations if you wish to give something, and this will be in aid of Help for Heroes and the Mayor's chosen charities.
Wonderful stuff. We're going to fill the Mayor's Parlour with wonderful Airfix models, and I've seen some of them, I can tell you. I've seen some of Mark's models. They really are fabulous. You've got anything from a Lancaster through to a Land Rover, modern day aeroplanes. There really is, and there's some fabulous work that's gone into these, and I can tell you it will be a wonderful exhibition. So that will be in the Mayor's Parlour. That's this coming Saturday from 10 a.m. through to 4 p.m. Also an opportunity there if you'd like to come and have a tea or a coffee with us. Say donations will be for Help the Heroes and also for my 3 nominated charities. So I'm very much looking forward to that, Mark. Let's just hope it's a nice day as well.
Yeah, let's hope so. If the sun shines, it usually brings people out.
Yeah.
Gets the town centre busy.
Absolutely, yeah. Now, one or two of the model making club members that will be there to give a little bit of a talk and advice about some of the models, won't they?
Yeah, we'll be on hand there, to give you a bit of advice, give you a bit of information, share hints and tips, and probably, you never know, you may even be tempted to come along to one of our club meetings at the Railway Club in the future.
Excellent stuff. Now, I've got 1 or 2 models that if somebody wants to come along and purchase one, I've got 1 or 2. They'll have to be quick, though, with those, because I've not got many of them. So yeah, models that'll be for sale for my nominated charities. So you'll have to be quick with those. Right, I'll tell you what, Mark, I'd like to ask you about some competitions, because I know you participate in competitions with these models.
Local radio for local people.
It's all here for you. Traffic and travel, What's On Guide, great songs and great memories on Gravity FM.
Your community, your radio, 97.2
Gravity.
Gravity FM.
Mark, I've been thoroughly enjoying our chat about Airfix models. Now, I'd like to ask you, we've got an exhibition on the Mayor's Parlour this coming Saturday. Are there any other model shows that you go to?
Yes, we do, quite a few. Now, one of the most popular questions that people will ask you when they discover that you're a model maker, they'll say, what do you do with it when it's finished? Now, most of us just put it in a cardboard box or a container to keep the dust off it, put it in the garage and start with the next project. However, about half a dozen times a year, we do travel to model shows. Now, believe it or not, there are quite a few of them, probably around 50 odd, around the country throughout the year. And our most local ones are, there's a show at Spalding and another show at Southwell Racecourse near Newark. So they're 2 of the most local ones we attend. However, the real big one is held at the Telford Exhibition Centre every November. It's always held on Remembrance Weekend. Now, we always attend that. We pack all our models up in boxes, travel up there, set a table up in the exhibition centre, set the models up and have a fantastic weekend talking to like-minded people. All the model world traders turn up, and it's international. You get model makers coming over there from Eastern Europe, Canada, Malta, Japan, all over the world. People meet up for this grand big event. They also have a competitive side, because a lot of people who build really finely detailed first-class models like to enter them into a competition and compete.
Yeah, so do you compete, Mark, yourself?
Yes. I never used to do, but over the years my model making's improved, particularly in the last year. I started wearing glasses a year ago, and model making has come on no end since then. So last November, I built myself a Land Rover Wimmick, which is the latest version of the Land Rover that's been used in Iraq and Afghanistan. And the guys in the model club says, "You've made a cracking job of that, you ought to put it in competition." So just on a whim, I took it up to Telford and I did put it in competition. And at the end of the Saturday afternoon, we had a wander around the competition, and there next to my Land Rover kit was a silver trophy. And it had taken a silver trophy in its class of soft-skinned military vehicles.
Wonderful.
So I was shocked, but absolutely over the moon.
So what do the judges look for then, Mark, in a good model?
They look for a finished product more than anything. They look to see that it's been built finely. There's no major join seams or glue blemishes, and then they'll have a look for the paint job. And the idea is to make your model look as realistic to the real vehicle or aeroplane or ship as you can, and that tends to involve a lot of weathering to give the model sort of a 3-dimension rather than just a flat paintwork. And that's the part that most of us enjoy the most, is trying to get it look really, really real.
Now, these models, Mark, now, what do they range from in size?
Oh, there's many, many different scales. One of the smallest scales is a 144th. That would mean that 1 foot on the real model would be 144 times, sorry, on the real vehicle would be 144 times smaller on the model. And then they'll go up to 1/8, 1/16. The most popular scales that aircraft are built in these days are 1/72nd, which is what most people start out in when they take up the hobby, and 1/48th, which is what most of us 40 and 50 somethings tend to build, because the detail is a little bit bigger and helps us, with our fading eyesight. Military vehicles tend to be built in 1/35th scale, because again, a vehicle is smaller than an aeroplane in real life, so hence your model needs to be a little bit bigger to give you that level of detail.
Now, what sort of cost do these models range from?
You can spend anything from about £3 from a really, really basic, little biplane, which you'll find in Boyce's, in Grantham. Other model shops are or were available. Not so many these days, unfortunately. Most of us tend to buy our models now at model shows or from online model making dealers. Anywhere up to £250. I don't think there's many would exceed that price. Probably one of the most expensive kits I've built recently was a 1/32nd scale Spitfire Mark 9, and that was a commissioned build. I did it for a chappie down in Kent, and that was a £100 kit. It has been written about as being state of the art, and believe you me, it was a pleasure to build it. It really fitted together really well, and the end result was superb. He was really, really happy with it.
Yeah. Now, I'd like to ask you about your Lancaster. You made a wonderful Lancaster model, didn't you?
Yeah, you will see a 1/48th scale Avro Lancaster at the display when you come down on Saturday. It is the kind of aeroplane most people look for, with its association with Lincolnshire and Bomber Command. So I'm sure you'll notice that one in the display.
Excellent stuff. Now, our exhibition again, it's on Saturday from 10 a.m. through to 4 p.m. and it's just donations, please, to Help for Heroes and my nominated charities. Big thank you to you in advance, Mark, for putting this show on. I say we're going to fill the Mayor's Parlour with Airfix model. I think it's going to be wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
Well, it's a pleasure, Ian. Thank you for inviting us along. We're putting it together at short notice, but come along and have a look, and I'm sure you'll be quite impressed. Spread the word, and we hope to see you on Saturday. Okay. And of course, it's all in a good cause. We ought to support our armed forces, because the lifestyle we live today, with freedom and democracy, it's not just taken for granted. That's been fought for, with blood and sacrifice. Okay. So let's not forget that.
Well said, Mark. Well said.
Yeah.
Now, you can obtain contact details of the Belvoir Model Club on Saturday, but also, Mark, do you have them with you?
Yes, I've got some details. Our secretary, John Tinkler, I can give you his mobile. You can reach him on that. So if you wanted to send him a text or send him a message, his number is 078 09 22 1673.
That number once more, please.
Pardon?
That number was just once more with the
Oh,
number?
yeah, the number once more. Yeah, John Tinkler, Secretary, 078 09 22 1673. And we'll be there on Saturday to give you more details should you need them.
Excellent stuff. Mark, a very big thank you for coming in this evening, and I say a big thank you to the Belvoir Model Club in advance for the event coming up on Saturday.
Thank you, Ian. My pleasure.